Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to Math Guru. I hope you all are fine, doing well, enjoying the winter season. I am fine too, Alhamdulillah. And I hope you all are relaxed now as you are done with your mid of year examinations and you all have reviewed the paper as well. You know about your mistakes now, you know about your marks now. Some are happy, uh, some are sad. जिसने मेहनत की है वो खुश है, उसको मार्क्स भी अच्छे मिले हैं और जिससे मेहनत नहीं हुई उसके मार्क्स खराब हैं तो वो परेशान है कि व्हाट विल हैपन इन द पीटीएम. The result will be in the last week of January, I guess. I don't know the confirmed date. Uh, जैसी confirm होगी inshallah I will tell you. And some students are not as happy because they have to appear in the remits. Remits है inshallah from next week Monday से. So grade 10 and grade 11 students, those of you who are appearing in the remits, all the best to you guys. And you have to work hard. You have to perform well in these remits. अगर परफॉर्म नहीं किया तो यू नो द consequences. Your form will not get क्लियरेंस नहीं मिलेगी फॉर्म को और फिर यू विल नॉट बी अलाउड टू सिट इन द कैम्ब्रिज एग्जाम्स. ऐसा ही मैनेजमेंट कह रही है भाई, तो थोड़ा सा सीरियस हो जाओ. इसीलिए बोला था पहले मेहनत कर लो. अगर पहले मेहनत कर ली होती तो फिर आज दोबारा मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती. समझते ही नहीं हो तुम लोग. अच्छा, लेट्स जस्ट बिगिन विद दिस क्वेश्चन. आपको पता है कि वी आर डूइंग विद द पेपर, वी आर डूइंग द पेपर रिव्यू. और पेपर रिव्यू में हम लोग ने काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन जो है वो क्लास में सॉल्व किए हैं, ग्रेड 9 और ग्रेड 10. And this is a question from grade 9 MOI paper, what problem on quadratic equations. और यही क्वेश्चन जो है बिल्कुल इसी तरह का क्वेश्चन जो है वो ग्रेड 10 के पेपर में भी था, जो कि हम लोगों ने क्लास में डिस्कस किया है, क्लास में सॉल्व किया है. तो आई थॉट कि ये वीडियो जो है वो ग्रेड 9, ग्रेड 10 और ग्रेड 11 वालों के लिए भी इंशाल्लाह हेल्पफुल होगी, बिकॉज दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. और इसका क्वेश्चन जो है ना ये आपके मिड ऑफ ईयर पेपर में आपने देख लिया है, इसी तरह आपके एंड ऑफ ईयर में भी ये बिल्कुल आपको मिलेगा. और ये क्वेश्चन जो था ग्रेड 10 के पेपर में 17 मार्क्स का था और ग्रेड 9 के पेपर में जो है ये 12 टू 15 मार्क्स का था. तो इसकी वेटेज भी काफ़ी सारी है, तो जिसकी वजह से ये टॉपिक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. और ये टॉपिक उतना ही कंफ्यूजिंग है. स्टूडेंट्स ने फिर इस पर स्ट्रगल किया है. ग्रेड 9 को तो काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस हमने क्लास में भी करवाए थे और काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस वीडियोस में भी डिस्कस किए हैं, लेकिन स्टिल देयर इज कंफ्यूजन. तो मैंने सोचा कि ये क्वेश्चन भी आप लोग के साथ डिस्कस कर लूँ ताकि थोड़ी सी और आप लोग की प्रैक्टिस अच्छी हो जाए. सो लेट्स जस्ट बिगिन विद दिस क्वेश्चन. दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ पेपर 2 एंड ये ग्रेड 9 के पेपर का क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. आई हैव सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन क्योंकि वीडियो थोड़ी बड़ी हो जाती है अगर मैं वीडियो में सॉल्व करता हूँ. तो लेट्स जस्ट फोकस ऑन द एक्सप्लेनेशन. So I am reading the question first, then I will explain this question. The question is Amira drives 40 kilometer to work. Part A is Amira takes X minutes to drive the first 30 kilometer of the journey. What we have to do, we have to show that her average speed in kilometer per hour for the first 30 kilometers of the journey is 1800 upon X. So this is a 1 mark question and we just have to make an expression for the average speed. We know the formula for the speed. We know that the speed is distance upon time. But first we will have to gather some data. We have to write some data. And for that we have to read the question again. And the question, in the start of the question, we know that the total distance is 40 kilometer. When we move on to the part one, in the part one, the distance is 30 kilometer because the time given to complete these 30 kilometer is X minutes. So we will start it from here. We will ignore this 40 kilometer. We will just write from the part A because we have to solve part A first. So we will just write the data which is mentioned in part A. In part A, the distance given is 30 kilometers. So we will just start off with writing the distance. D is equals to 30 kilometers. And X minutes, we know that the minute is a unit of time, so this is the time. So time is given as X minute, but since we have to give the speed in kilometer per hour, so we have to convert this minute into hours. And I know, and we all know that there is 1 hour has 60 minutes, so we will just divide it by 60. So X upon 60 is the time in hours. X is the time in minutes and X upon 60 is the time in hours. So we have the time in hours, we have the distance. We just have to write the formula. Speed is equals to distance upon time. We know the distance is 30 and the time is in hours. The time is X upon 60. So we will just write X upon 60 and we know that there is a fraction in the denominator. When this fraction will come in the numerator, it will get flipped. So we can write it as this: s is equals to 30, and this fraction, which is x upon 60, will now become 60 upon x, and we will have to multiply this 30 and 60. 3 times 6 is 18, and two zeros will get along upon x. So this is the required expression which is given in the question. So we have showed that her average speed in kilometer per hour for the first 30 kilometers is 1800 upon x. So this is the speed of the first 30 kilometer, which is 1800 upon x. Moving on to the second part. Second part says Amira's average speed in kilometer per hour for the final 10 kilometer. We know that the journey is of 40 kilometer. The speed for the 30 kilometer is 1800 upon x, and the final 10 kilometer speed is 600 upon x minus 25. It has been mentioned in the question. So 600 upon x minus 25 is the average speed for the final 10 kilometer. So we have the speed for the 30 kilometer. This is the speed, average speed of the 30 kilometer, and this is the average speed of the last 10 kilometer. So the question says her average speed for the first 30 kilometer of the journey, means 1800 upon x, is 8 kilometer per hour slower than her average speed for the final 10 kilometer. Means this speed is slower and this speed is greater, and this is 8 kilometer. The difference between the two speeds is 8 kilometer. It has been mentioned in the question. The average speed for the first 30 kilometer means 1800 upon x is slower, and 600 upon x minus 25 is greater. It is the larger speed, and the difference between these two speeds is 8 kilometer. And we know that difference means we have to subtract these two, and we have to equate them with 8. The answer of the subtraction will be equals to 8. ठीक है, ये वाला concept हम use करेंगे. So, and by using this concept, we have to form an equation and show that the final equation looks like this: x square plus 125x minus 5625 equals to 0. So this is our final answer. We have to make this equation by using this information which is given in part B, that is the difference between the two speeds is 8 kilometers. So we know that the difference means minus. Since this is the larger speed, so we will just write 600 upon x minus 25 first. And we know that in maths, difference means subtraction. 1800 upon x is the speed for the 30 kilometer, and the difference between these two speeds is 8 kilometer per hour. So now this is a fractional equation, and we will solve this fractional equation because we have to make this equation. So the first step is we have to take the LCM, x minus 25 and x. We have to make a common denominator. So we cannot make x minus 25 and x. We don't know the value of x. So what we will do, we will just write both of them together. X minus 25 and x will be written as together like this. And now what we will do, we will just multiply this x with this numerator, and we will multiply this x minus 25 with this numerator. So x multiplied by 600 will be 600x, minus sign will be as it is. And now I have to multiply this x minus 25 with 1800. So 1800 will be as it is, and after 1800 it will be x minus 25 bracket close upon the denominator will be x, and x minus 25 equals to 8. Now we will expand this. We will just multiply 1800 with the bracket, and we will do the same in the denominator as well. So this will be 600x minus 1800 when multiplied with x will give me minus 1800x, and then this minus and minus will get positive, and 1800 multiplied by 25 will give me 45,000 divided by x multiplied by x will be x square, minus sign as it is, and then x multiplied by 25 will give me 25x, and then equals to, and after equals to it will be 8. Now what will I do? I will just simplify it. I know that this is 600x and this is 1800x, so I will just subtract them. 600x minus 1800x will give me minus 1200x, plus 45,000 will be as it is, and now I will shift this denominator on this side. 8 and after shifting, 8 will be multiplied with x square, and 8 will also be multiplied with minus 25x. So when 8 will be multiplied with x square, it will become 8x square, and 8 on being multiplied with minus 25x will give me minus 200x, क्योंकि ये पूरा का पूरा डिनोमिनेटर जो है ये शिफ्ट हो जाएगा इस साइड पे जाके. तो 8 से ये दोनों चीज़ें मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएंगी, तो जब आप 8 को एक्स स्क्वायर से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो यू विल गेट 8x², and when you will multiply 8 with minus 25x, you will get minus 200x. So now I will just shift all the terms on one side. 8x² will be the first term, minus 200x will be the second term, and then this minus 1200x will move on the other side and it will become positive 1200x, and this positive 45,000 will go on the other side and it will become minus 45,000 200x, and this minus 1200x, it will get simplified and it will give me plus 1000x, minus 45,000 equals to 0. ये सिंप्लीफिकेशन के बाद आया, क्योंकि मैंने इन दोनों टर्म्स को जो है वो दूसरी साइड पे शिफ्ट कर दिया है। 8x² ऐसे ही आ गया, मैंने एक स्टेप स्किप किया है, मैंने डायरेक्ट लिख दिया है 8x² विल बी एज इट इज, और ये जो माइनस 200x है ये ऐसे ही रहेगा। ये वाला जो माइनस 1200x है, ये जब इसके साथ सिंप्लीफाई होगा तो आपको प्लस 1000x मिल जाएगा, और ये पॉजिटिव का 45,000 ये भी आप शिफ्ट कर दोगे दूसरी साइड पर, तो ये माइनस का 45,000 हो जाएगा इक्वल्स टू 0। अब मुझे ये वाली इक्वेशन बनानी है, आई हैव टू फॉर्म दिस इक्वेशन, एंड आई नो दैट देर इज वन विद एक्स स्क्वायर, और यहाँ जो है वो 8 है एक्स स्क्वायर के साथ, तो आई हैव टू टेक 8 एज कॉमन, या फिर आप 8 को कॉमन ले लो, या फिर आपको 8 को जो है वो दोनों साइड से डिवाइड कर दो, क्योंकि इक्वेशन की दो साइड्स हैं, तो आई कैन डिवाइड 8 ऑन बोथ साइड। यहाँ भी 8 से डिवाइड कर देता हूँ, यहाँ भी 8 से डिवाइड कर देता हूँ, तो जब मैं 8 को दोनों साइडों से डिवाइड कर दूंगा तो मेरे पास मेरी रिक्वायर्ड इक्वेशन आ जाएगी एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 125x माइनस 5625 इक्वल्स टू 0। 8 को डिवाइड करने का मतलब है कि यू हैव टू डिवाइड ईच एंड एवरी टर्म विद 8। 8 को इससे भी डिवाइड करेंगे, 8 को इससे भी डिवाइड करेंगे, और 8 को इससे भी डिवाइड करेंगे, तो द फाइनल इक्वेशन विल बी द सेम विच इज मेंशन इन द क्वेश्चन, दैट इज एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 125x माइनस 5625 इक्वल्स टू 0, जो कि इक्वेशन हमें बनानी थी। तो ये वर्ड प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशंस में। फर्स्ट पार्ट में यू हैव टू मेक एन एक्सप्रेशन, एंड इन द सेकंड पार्ट यू हैव टू यूज दैट एक्सप्रेशन एंड द इंफॉर्मेशन व्हिच इज मेंशन इन द सेकंड पार्ट टू मेक अ इक्वेशन, और वो इक्वेशन आपको पहले से मेंशन होती है, यू जस्ट हैव टू मेक इट। थर्ड पार्ट में यू नो दैट वी हैव टू सॉल्व दिस इक्वेशन, हमें इस इक्वेशन को सॉल्व करना होता है, और इस इक्वेशन को सॉल्व करने के लिए वी विल बी यूजिंग क्वाड्रेटिक फॉर्मूला, बिकॉज वी नो दैट द आंसर विल कम इन डेसिमल। So this is the third part. Solve the equation x square plus 125x minus 5625 equals to 0, and show your working and give your answer each correct to one decimal place. So we know that the answers are coming in decimal, so we will not be going with the factorization method. We will be going with the quadratic formula. In order to apply the quadratic formula, we first have to find the value of a, b, and c. A is basically the coefficient of x square, so the coefficient of x square is 1, so the value of a is 1. B is the coefficient of x, so the coefficient of x is plus 125, so the value of b is 125, and c is the constant. The constant here is 5625, and there is a negative sign, so we will take the sign. The value of c will be minus 5625. The formula is x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and we just have to put the values. So x is equals to minus 125 minus, this is the minus of the formula. The value of b is 125 plus minus square root b square. The value of b is 125. So 125 square minus 4. The value of a is 1 and the value of c is minus 5625. That's why we have used the bracket. So we will just multiply these. This minus and this minus will become positive. 125 square is 15625. This is minus and this is minus. 2 minus when multiplied got positive, and 4 multiplied by 5625 will give you 2250. Then you will just add them, the answer will be 38125, and then you will take the square root of 38,125, that will give you 195.2. And then since you have two possibilities, there is a positive and a negative sign, so first you will write the positive sign, minus 125 plus 195.2 divided by 2 will give you 70.2, and 70.2 divided by 2, the value of x will be 35.1. The second value will be minus 125 minus 195 will give you minus 320.2 divided by 2 will give you minus 160.1. So this is x. So basically the two values of x is 35.1 and the next value is minus 160.1. Since x is the time in minutes, so time cannot be negative, so we will just ignore this negative value, and our value is 35.1. So this is the time in minutes. And how do I know that this is the time in minutes? You can read the first part. Amira takes X minutes to drive the first 30 kilometers. So this is the time in minutes. So that's why time cannot be in negative. So we have discarded this negative value. So now we have x is equals to 35.1. So we will just use this value of x to solve the last part. The last part is it takes Amira 25 minutes less to drive the final 10 kilometer than it takes for the first 30 kilometers. So Amira takes 25 minutes less. So this is x, the value of x is 35.1, and this 35.1 is basically the time, which is the time for the first 30 kilometers. This is the time Amira is taking to travel the first 30 kilometers. So this is the value of x. And what we have to do, we have to find the average speed in kilometer per hour for the whole journey. We have to calculate the average speed for the whole journey. We know that the average speed is basically the total distance divided by the total time. We know the total distance, we know the journey is of 40 kilometers, but we don't know the total time. So we have to calculate the total time first, and then we will just use the formula of average speed to find the average speed. So x is equals to x is basically the time in minutes, and the value of x is 35.1, and we know that this x is the time for the 30 kilometer. The final 10 kilometer is taking 25 minutes less, so we will just subtract 25 from this answer. So 35.1 minus 25 will give us 10.1. So this 35.1 is the time for the 30 kilometer, and this 10.1 is the time for the 10 kilometer. So since we have to find the total time of the journey, so we will just add these two. 35 plus 1 plus 10.1 is 45.2 minutes, which is the total time of the journey. So now we know the total time of the journey. The total time is 45.2, but this is in minutes, and we have to find the average speed in hours. So we have to convert this into hours, and we will just simply divide it by 60. And what I did, I just write the formula. I just wrote the formula of average speed. That is total distance upon total time. Total distance is 40 kilometer, and the total time is 45.2 minutes. So since we have to calculate the speed is kilometer per hour, so we will just convert this minutes into hour by dividing it by 60. And we know that there is a fraction in the denominator. When this fraction will come up, it will just get flipped. So this will become 40 multiplied by 60 divided by 45.2. And since this is paper 2, so calculator is allowed. So by using calculator, we can find out our final answer, that is 53.1 kilometer per hour, which is the average speed of the journey. So that was the question, and I will be solving some more question of this P2 paper of grade 9. So stay tuned for those videos as well. I hope you all will watch this video and will clear your confusions. और कोई problem हो अगर इसमें तो you can ask in the comment box. I hope you all will like this video and stay tuned for some more videos as well. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.